If you're adding saturation to your footage like this, thinking that it's gonna look more cinematic, I hate to break it to you, but you're absolutely destroying your footage. In this video, I'm gonna show you what you should do instead, and then I'll also give you the exception to that rule when you actually need saturation. I'm gonna make this so simple that even if this is your first color grading tutorial, you're gonna have no issue following it through. For those that don't know me, my name is Qazi. I've worked with brands like Adidas, Amazon Prime, Universal Studios, and I make no just straightforward color grading tutorials so you can work with your dream clients. When you see footage like this that is perfectly balanced, well exposed, it's like having a perfect pizza. It has the right amount of sauce, cheese, and toppings. If you overdo any of those ingredients, you're going to throw it completely off. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so now we're inside Resolve. We're gonna be working with these 3 clips. Because I love you guys, I'm gonna give you access to it. Link is gonna be in the description. You can download these and then practice along. So the first one is shot on red and already converted from log to X709. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm a beginner first. When I look at the shot, the first thing that comes to mind is that it just feels too flat. Like it doesn't have a lot of color. I mean, this pink doesn't just look right. The skin tones don't look right. So a beginner would just kind of do this, crank this, do something like this, and oh my God, all of a sudden it just came to life. Like this looks so much better. I mean, look at the skin tones, look at the shirt, the skin tones right here, trees, all of a sudden there's so much detail and we can see it in our vector scope. There's so much more life now. So this is so good. I'm gonna go ahead and just save this version, okay? And now let's reset that. So the oversight on our beginners part were a couple of different things. So number one, what creates a saturated image? It's having the proper exposure, having a properly balanced shot, and having good amount of contrast in your image. So I'm going to break it down. Normally, I do all of this in one node, but just for this example's sake, we're gonna break it up into 3 different nodes, okay? So the first thing that you wanna do is you wanna add some contrast to start seeing what you need next in your image. So I'm going to lock in my pivot to 0.335, which is your perfect 18% gray when you're working with DaVinci wide gamut color space, okay? I have a separate video on that if you're interested. Link is gonna be in the description. So now that we're here, I'm gonna go under my contrast. I'm gonna start cranking it and look what contrast does. I'm gonna go too far and then kind of pull it back. Look at something very interesting is happening that I'm going to explain in a minute. Why this saturation is being expanded as we are expanding our contrast. And now, just remember, most of your image's meat lives in your gamma, and more importantly, this shot is overexposed. This shot is about 1 to 2 stops overexposed. So to bring it down, I'm just going to go under my gamma and I'm gonna start pulling it down and just look at how much weight we're going to add in our image. I mean, just watch this. So now I can just come to something like this and I go, this looks very, very natural. And if I do before and after, just look at what we did. I mean, now this looks like log, but this was log. Okay, so this is after. How much more natural this is? How much more like lifelike it looks like. I'm seeing it through my eyes with lots of pop without making it look artificial. And all of that happened with adding contrast, controlling our exposure, and now the third part, we can go right here. Let's just balance it a little bit. We see that it's leaning a little bit into this quadrant. Let's just balance it out just a touch. So I'm gonna right click, go to gamma, change this to linear to get the most realistic result as if we've made that change in camera. You can learn more, link in the description. I'm just gonna go in my gain, which works like offset, but even better in linear color space. And I'm just going to start pulling it. I'm not gonna overdo anything, okay? So even if I just go this much, I mean, we can try to just like go places to kind of like exaggerate it for the example's sake. So we can like really see the difference. Let's just say if I go somewhere around here, the more color separation is created, it feels like there's more saturation in our overall image. And that's what's happening. So look at before, everything is just kind of like blending in. Now the skin tones are popping from the background. All the colors just went in its own place, in its own pocket. And if I take these two, and if I go before and after, just look at the amount of saturation that we added. So now when I bring in our beginner's version, I mean, come on. You see like how much grade we were leaving on the table just because we didn't have this knowledge, these 3 simple steps that was needed to get our image from here to here without touching our saturation knob. So the best way I can explain why when you expand your contrast, your saturation expands as well is your contrast is like a rubber band. So when you expand it in each direction, lighter and darker, to like open up your image, you are also widening and stretching your colors with it as well. And that's how the contrast is set up inside Resolve by default. There is a way to decouple it. But going back to our example, when you're pulling on that rubber band, you're not only stretching the dynamic range of your image and making it pop, but you're also stretching and widening your colors along with it. That's why we see this expansion, which is a lot more even and natural as opposed to just adding saturation. Also, if you want to learn 2 months worth of content in 1 hour, I have a free training. Link is in the description. All right, so here's another example. This one is more extreme. Shot on Blackmagic. This is our log. This is our X709. Let's pretend like we're a beginner. What's gonna happen is that we're going to add a little bit of saturation. We're gonna pull it back, and finally, this looks really good, okay? Okay, let's just pull it down a little bit. Let's go here. Let's try to like control the contrast, go here. This is looking pretty good. This is looking really good. Do we need more saturation, less? Maybe park it somewhere around here. This actually looks really good. So let's go ahead, save this now. And now how a pro would approach it, just like what we did with the last one. Let's not even think about using our saturation. I'm just gonna go in my lift. I'm gonna go in my gain. And I'm just gonna take my gamma. This is where the meat is. And I'm just looking at her. I want her to look pretty. I'm gonna take my lift and I'm keeping like looking right here, and I wanna add a lot of meat here. I'm gonna go in my gain, pull it up, bring it somewhere around here. I'm gonna go in my gamma, open it up. Why? I wanna see her eyes and I wanna see like that glow on her skin. So something like that, and I do before and after, and this is where we're at. We can even lift up the gain a little bit more. So this is where we're at. Take our lift and keep it somewhere around here. He's looking great. Everything is looking good. I think we can go here, right click, gamma, balance it just a little bit. Okay, so like let's go. I'm just looking at her skin. Even if we go this much, we just took some of the yellow out. Now let's compare it. So here is our beginner's version. And we weren't exaggerating, right? Like we built it together and thought it was so good. Now, look at this, no saturation added, yet if we look at our vector scope here, how much more saturated this is compared to beginner's version, and more importantly, what I just explained to you. So let's change this to parade and let's change this to histogram, what is set to, and I'm going to take these and do before and after, and this is your red, green, blue channel. Look at what's happening to it. We're expanding it. Now, if we do our beginner's version compared to ours, you're just seeing how much more natural our results are. All of a sudden, this is looking so muddy. I mean, this has like a little gunky yellow, whereas here, everything just feels like it was shot on film. It has such an unapologetic contrast without crushing anything. I mean, here are the most important scopes that you would ever need, and just look at it. Nothing is being crushed. Everything is protected. And we just got so much more life out of our image. The results speak for themselves, right? The way I always look at it is like McDonald's versus my mom's home-cooked meal, right? One is just so overly processed and doesn't feel natural or real. The other is just to die for. But now let's shift gears and actually let me show you the one time when you must and need to add saturation. Let's check it out. And if you're enjoying the video so far, it will mean a lot if you can smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. Let's get back in. So now we're looking at this shot. It's just way too warm. And all of that warm tones are just embedded into our image. I mean, just look at the vector scope where it's living. So in order to pull that out, I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna change my gamma to linear, kill this. And I'm just gonna go in my gain and I'm gonna start pulling it out. I'm just gonna go pretty aggressive. And I'm gonna go, I don't wanna lose and strip the personality out. So I'm gonna keep it somewhere around here. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at the shirt. I'm looking at her hair, her eyebrows. I just want to get, I'm looking at the white. I want to get these colors in a ballpark, and I did it, like right here. We're getting in the crosshair. I don't want to overdo it. So this is where we're at. Now the problem is, look at our red. We did suppress that. Why? Because this is a baked image, right? So yes, it's log, but still it's not raw. So if it was done with the wrong white balance, and then when we correct the white balance, those colors that we pulled out, they're just basically gone. They're not there. So now we have to artificially inject it, some color back in. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go in my saturation. Now there's a billion better ways to do saturation, so I understand that if somebody's gonna comment and say, HSV, use this method, that method. I know, I have a whole toolkit where it even is better than HSV, but we're just gonna focus on a regular saturation control. Let's just go and crank it. All I'm looking at is my bear, and I wanna put it somewhere around here because I don't wanna do anything unrealistic. Now the one problem that we're having here is right here. I don't like how Zohair is picking up all this gunky green from the wall. And then what it's doing is that it's creating this discoloration. You see pink and like this. Why? Because we were just pushing this image so far away from where it was living. So when we did that, it created this discoloration in the skin. So in order to cover that up, we're just gonna go in our hue versus hue. I'm gonna take my yellow and I'm gonna start pulling this up. And I don't wanna do too much because I don't wanna change the color of the wall completely, but I'm just going to flip it to something like even this that just takes the edge off. Can I do a little bit more? I can do a little bit more. So this takes the edge off. And if I do before and after, this is where we are now. Okay, so if I take these and I do before and after, and now one of the things we're gonna do, once again, let's stretch that contrast, right? So like, let's go in our gain, stretch it, go in our lift, pull it down, gain, or what do we wanna do with our gamma? Maybe bring the gamma down to something like this. Gain, let's keep it somewhere around here. Let's bring the lift somewhere around here. Before and after, lifted it up quite a bit. So we go from here to here. And if we look at the saturation, we added more saturation. We got rid of the cast and we made everything look so beautiful. And this is where we needed the saturation. But even then, it was just a hint. We didn't even need that much. I can even pull it back a little bit more. And that's what I mean, guys. Always avoid saturation like a plague. Trust me. If you're going for a look and if it's part of like your look DNA, go pump it as much as possible. But outside of that, there are all these other practices that you should implement first before just going for the saturation knob. So there you have it. Quick and simple ways to get the most natural looking image with lots of pop inside Resolve without touching the saturation knob. Besides the last example, obviously. Make sure to check out the special links in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.